Hello everyone, it's Sandra, and in today's video I thought that we would put some makeup on together. You can put on makeup at the same time with me, then it will kind of feel like we're getting ready together, but I wanted to share with you my current go-to makeup look. I've been doing this day and night. Glowy skin, but not too, nothing's too much, subtle smoky eye, nude lip. What more can you ask? So I'm really excited to share with you my current go-to look and some makeup products that I've been loving. So if you want to see it, just keep watching. I love and hate this time of year because a lot of us are trying to buy less, but it's also the time of year that a lot of new foundations are launching, and foundation is like my makeup kryptonite. It's the one thing that I just enjoy buying so much. So the temptation is real to buy a new foundation right now. It's not even the end of January and there are 5 new foundation launches that kind of piqued my interest. And that's just like the ones that I'm aware of. I don't even want to know what else is out there, to be honest. In order to curb my appetite for a new foundation, I always like to kind of try out a new combination with the base products I already have. I mean, I'm a big proponent for mixing foundations year round, but especially this time of year, I feel like I've been enjoying trying to discover new combinations even more. So today I'm going to use the Armani Power Fabric Foundation, which is something that I'm trying to use up. I'm just going to do a little pump of this, and I'm going to mix it in with by Terry Sheer Expert. This is one of my top 5 favorite foundations of all time, and in true By Terry fashion, it's going to be discontinued. That kind of breaks my heart. This is the second time By Terry has discontinued one of my favorite foundations, the first being the original Cover Expert. This is such a beautiful foundation, and I've only really grown to appreciate it in the past year. Back when I was obsessed with Cover Expert, my skin was in not that great of a shape, so I needed more coverage. This, as the name suggests, is a very sheer foundation. It looks really natural on the skin, but it has really great staying power as well. I'm not going to talk about it too much though, because you won't really be able to get it anymore. There are select shades still available online. My skin is combination still, but it tends to be a little bit more dry in the cheek area, and I want a little bit of, a little bit more luminosity. So I'm just going to add a little drop of my Pure, maybe 2 drops. This is the Pure Minerals No Filter. This is the Blurring Photography Primer. A very under the radar type of product. It's a more subtle version of what Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter is. Like, this won't make you as shiny, which makes it more suitable for somebody that has more oily combination skin. I've been enjoying this for a long time. This is one of my favorite products to just mix in with a foundation, especially mixed in with a more matte foundation, to just give it a little bit of life. And I'm just going to start dotting it all over my face, kind of focusing it on the areas where I have like most of my pigmentation, where I need more coverage. Let me know if you are a foundation mixer, what are some of your favorite combinations? If you are in the market for a new foundation, is there anything that's on your radar? I know Hourglass is launching a new foundation, Chanel is launching a new foundation, Dior is relaunching too, which I'm actually kind of excited about because I did not love the Dior original Forever foundation, so I'm excited to see what the new ones will be like, because I love the Dior Backstage, like the Face and Body foundation they launched last year, is in my top 5, and I generally have good luck with Dior foundations. Okay, this combination is not working well with my Real Techniques brush, so I'm going to use a sponge instead. Yeah, this works way better with the sponge. It's been like -20 outside Celsius, which is very cold, and trying to avoid the cold outside means staying indoors more, and indoors the air is so dry because of the like central heating and stuff. So I have not even been using face powder, to be honest. Yeah, I'm at that point where I'm just gonna embrace the oils, and I'm not even gonna try to powder because I don't want to risk looking cakey. I'm trying to use up my little Charlotte Tilbury retoucher, but this is a little bit too dark for me right now. So I've just been mixing it with this YSL Touche Cloud, which is in a lighter shade. I find that, especially if my skin is having a dry moment, I would rather like sacrifice the coverage in order to keep like a healthy looking skin texture underneath. And then just covering any hyperpigmentation I have showing through with my Nars Concealer. I was actually reminiscing with my friend Vanessa today. We were talking about, remember the days when everybody was obsessed with Chanel Pro Lumiere foundation. I just remember loving that foundation so much, and that was the day, like we were using it in the days before the Beauty Blender came out. So what I would give to try that foundation again now that we have beauty blenders in our lives. And I just feel like every high coverage foundation that Chanel has tried to launch since has not been as good as the original. For bronzer, still using this. I kind of feel bad using this because this was a limited edition product, but maybe they'll launch it again in the summer, because Clarins usually does like a limited edition summer collection every year where they like launch a bronzer and a couple of other accompanying products. And this was a primer that they launched this past summer. They launched an entire primer collection, but the 2 bronzing ones that they launched were limited edition. So fingers crossed they will launch it again next summer. So if you were curious about it, you can try this. But I really enjoy this. I don't like this as a primer. I don't like this. I've tried to use it mixed in with a foundation to kind of deepen it. I don't like it that way either. My favorite way of using this is just as a bronzer. So this is the lightest color that they have. They also had a darker one, but this is shade number 6 bronze, very similar to the color of the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. And I like to use this with this Real Techniques buffing brush. You know, use the back of the hand as a palette. So 1 pump is all you need, especially in the winter where, you know, you don't want to go overboard with the bronzer. You just want like a subtle sun-kissed look. And I've just been really loving this. It has this beautiful skin-like finish. It has a very subtle glow from within. I'm glad I got to play around with it and figure out a way to make this work for me, because if I had just tried to use this the way this was intended to be used, I don't think I would have loved it as much. I feel like we're living in this age of, you know, first impression videos, and those videos get a lot of views, and those are very, you know, since they get a lot of views, a lot of people make them, but I don't find those videos to be that helpful at all. Like, they're good at piquing interest and they're good at making other people make impulse purchases, but sometimes the best products end up being the ones where it's kind of a little bit of a challenge, and it's kind of like a bumpy road until you get into the groove. But then when you figure out a way that works for you, then it ends up being like the best product ever. I hope my tangent makes sense. That's how I feel about a lot of stuff. A lot of my favorite products have been products it might not have been love at first sight. You know, when you open the front camera of your iPhone by accident, this is my view right now. This is what I'm trying to do my makeup in. Thankfully, you cannot see what I'm seeing right now. I gotta make it work somehow. And I know I've talked your ear off about this, but still loving it. This is Bobbi Brown Petal Pink. And I'm using this little e.l.f. stipple brush. Highly recommend this brush for liquid or cream blush application. It is so pretty, and you just stipple on the color. And then I like to use whatever's left on my little makeup sponge to really give me a seamless blend. And then I don't think I'm going to use any setting powder today. I feel like my skin is fine right now, but if I need a bit of setting powder action, I've just been using this. I dip my powder brush all over this, and I just do a very, very light dusting to set my makeup. If I want some highlighter, I will usually go for the Care Vice cream highlighter, but today I think we're gonna be fine, but depends on the occasion, you know. I am going to set my under eye just a little bit. No matter what I do with the rest of my face, I always have to set my under eye area. I have been using this again. I featured it in one of my favorites videos in November. This is the Armani Eye Quattro in the shade Avant Premiere. Nothing's too shimmery, nothing's too metallic. They all have just a beautiful satin sheen to them, so they work well in the crease as well as on the actual eyelid. And my go-to way of using this has just been with this pale color all over the lid first. Sometimes I use an eyeshadow primer. Sometimes I don't, depending on how long my day is. You know, if I forget to use it in the morning and I have a long day, I can just, you know, take my finger and smooth out any creasing. It's no big deal. But I like to start with this color, just kind of all over as a base. And then I use this bronzy color here as a crease color. Just for a little subtle smoky effect. And then I'm just taking that fluffy brush again to smooth things out. And I have a very heavy brow bone, so I like to take that dark color and just kind of push back my brow bone a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of that color and use it under my eyes as well. And then I like to take this taupey color. Sometimes it works beautifully all over the lid as well with like a more cool toned color in the crease. This is such a gorgeous taupe. I find it such a well-balanced quad because you can take it, you know, it's very nice and neutral. You can take a warm or cool tone depending on what you play with. So here are the colors. Like here's the bronze. The bronze shade is at the top, and then the taupey color is at the bottom. Anyway, I'm gonna take the taupe color today on my finger to line my top lash line. You don't have to be too precise with this. The texture is so soft, and this will just give me a really subtle smoky line. Sometimes I do like a black pencil liner, and then I use my finger with this taupe color, and I go and smudge the black pencil with the taupe. Then I'm just going to take the deepest color in this quad, which is a very, very rich chocolatey brown, and I'm taking it on this tiny little Laura Mercier brush. I don't think they make this brush anymore, but it's the smudge brush from Laura Mercier. Just at the very, very base of my bottom lash line, just towards the outer corner of my top and bottom lash lines, kind of like an extra hint of smokiness. And then I'm going to create just a tiny little wing, ever so slightly. I can't do wing liner anymore. I just don't find it as flattering on me as it used to be. Maybe it was never flattering. I definitely prefer this method of just a slight little smoky shadow, like a hint of a wing. I find that if I start from the bottom and just kind of keep that angle going, and I just haven't been bored of it yet. I just keep doing it, and it makes me happy every time I do it. So highly recommend if you're in the market for a new, really, really easy, versatile quad. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and mascara, and we'll finish off the look with the lips. And I don't know about you, but every time I put mascara on, I have like a sigh of relief because it just makes everything look so much better. That moment when you're like second guessing everything about your eyeshadow, and everything just disappears. All the worry disappears once you put on a nice coat of mascara. Still very much on the glossy nude lip train, and I mentioned the Sephora Melting Lip Click in Caramel when I did my travel makeup bag video, and you can see it in action, but this is such a beautiful, beautiful product if you just want a very sheer, great, nude, glossy lip that doesn't break the bank. This is fantastic. And when I mentioned that, a lot of people said that it could be a dupe for the Surratt Lip Sleek. And I do have one of the Surratt Lip Sleeks, but the color that I have in the Surratt is not a dupe for the Caramel. I find the shade selection in the Sephora range is not as good as the shade selection in the Surratt range. And to me, the Surratt Lip Sleek, while the two products are very similar, I wouldn't really necessarily call them dupes for each other. The Surratt feels a bit more hefty. It's like a bit more creamy on the lips as opposed to the Sephora one, which is more slick. I find the Sephora to be a bit more sheer and more glossy, but then again, it could just be the color that I have. But the color Caramel in the Sephora Melting Lip Click is very similar to the color Heaven in the Surratt range. But the color that I have in my Surratt Lip Sleek is called Gamine, which is a beautiful peachy pink color. But I just find the Surratt to be a bit more pigmented and just slightly more creamy, like just a bit more creaminess to the formula. They're both excellent, excellent, excellent products. And if you are a fan of a very moisturizing, effortless wash of nude on the lips, I would recommend either of these, and I would repurchase both. So I have them. So this is the Surratt Gamine on this side, and then over here is the Sephora Melting Lip Click. You can see this in action if you want on my travel makeup bag video. Today I'm going to use this because I've never used it on camera before, and you guys know I love a good peachy nude. With these though, with both of these, this is a twist up, this is a click up, but once you push the product up, you can make it go back down. So make sure that you only twist or click up as much product as you will need. In the winter time, the last thing I want to put on my lips is a matte lipstick. So this is Surratt Gamine on my lips. If I want to add a bit more volume to my lips, I will go in with MAC Oak Lip Liner. after I put my lipstick on, and I just kind of use this to shade, almost like contouring my lips. And that's it. That's kind of been my go-to look lately. A couple of little tweaks that I do if I'm in the mood to switch it up, but not really switching it up, you know what I mean? If you've had a go-to look this month, let me know the details of what you've been into in the comment section below. I swear, I know I say this all the time, but I have the coolest audience. You all have such great taste. You always give me wonderful recommendations, and I'm just really grateful to have this little happy corner of the internet. I would not change it for anything in the world. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being supportive of my channel and for letting me share my beauty junkiness with you. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.